For more on this, we're joined by Davies. He is the NDP's public safety critic and chair of the Public Safety and National Security Committee. He joins us in Ottawa. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Davies.
My pleasure.
What did you make of what you heard Mr. Fadden say in committee today?
Well, I have to say I was disappointed. I was left with the impression that Mr. Fadden doesn't actually get what Canadians are thinking. He went on national television and he made very direct accusations against very specific groups, municipal politicians in British Columbia, 2 cabinet ministers, and by implication the Chinese-Canadian community and Chinese-Canadian politicians. And I don't think he understands the harm that was caused. I don't think he understands why what he did was wrong. And I don't think he really believes that he did anything wrong.
So what is wrong here? Because I think during committee, Mr. Fadden made a point of saying that, he didn't go against any kind of rules, and he said that he's not going to step down. So what was the harm caused through, some of his allegations?
Well, it's hard to know where to start. First of all, the primary purpose of the CSIS Act and CSIS is to gather and collect information that's of a very sensitive nature on Canadians. There are very, very strict disclosure sections in that act that govern when that information may be disclosed. It may only be disclosed to certain people, including cabinet ministers, police officers, etc., and it has to be disclosed for a particular purpose. Mr. Fadden went on national television and singled out groups of people. Now, look, Canadians don't mind CSIS making sure that they're investigating allegations of foreign espionage, or even if politicians are involved. But when you go a step further than that and single out specific groups, then I think that he's overstepped his bounds. I think he's in violation of CSIS, the Act itself.
Okay, but he did not name names. He did identify groups. You say that is enough, yes?
Absolutely it is. And I put to him certain questions. I said, well, how is that different than if you said that one of Canada's premiers is under the influence of a foreign government? Mm-hmm. Well, he's not saying, I guess he didn't answer that satisfactorily. I mean, he didn't actually name anybody in particular, but we can narrow it down. When you say 2 cabinet ministers, well, there's 300 cabinet ministers in this country. When you say British Columbia municipal politicians or Chinese-Canadian politicians, by implication, of which there's not that many, you are singling people out. And that's not the proper way to handle allegations of that nature.
I want to ask you, though, Mr. Fadden did say that when he made these revelations to the media initially, he didn't think it was significant in that he didn't deem it to be an immediate threat to national security. How do you gauge his explanation? Has he seriously misread the potential damage from what he did say? Is he still misreading the potential damage? And is it enough for him to resign? He said he's not, but, should someone force that?
Well, I think the government should absolutely force it. Look, these comments first came out at a banquet speech he gave back in March. And Mr. Fadden's explanation today in committee was that he gave more information than he should have at that banquet because he, quote, lost track of the fact that there was media there. So at best, you have a CSIS director who loses track of where he is and might divulge information that's not appropriate when he doesn't think media is there, so his judgment's in question. Or at the worst, you have him directly contravening the CSIS Act by disclosing information that he shouldn't. Either way, the government should act quickly and ask for his resignation immediately.
All right, we'll be watching it. NDP Public Safety Critic and Committee Chair Davies joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.